Good day, Black Knights. This is Mr. Deegan for VidNotes. We're on to Unit 3, Lesson 2. Please get out that part of your VidNotes packet. And when you're ready, it's learning target time. Please write, I will understand how the U.S. Constitution shares the powers of the U.S. government. The government must be balanced according to this image, and the balance needs to come from some power given to the state governments and some power given to the national governments. Onward we go. What did the U.S. Constitution do? Please fill in the blanks. The Constitution of the U.S. established a government that shared power between the national government and state governments, protected the rights of states, and provided a system for orderly change through amendments to the Constitution itself. And here is the U.S. Constitution with the first three words, "We the people." How does the Constitution balance power? The first reason made federal law the supreme law of the land when constitutional, but otherwise, the Constitution gave the states considerable leeway, meaning freedom, to govern themselves. How does the Constitution balance power? The second way it balances power is balanced power between large and small states by creating a Senate where each state has 2 senators and a House of Representatives where membership is based on population. And here in red is a description of the House of Representatives. There are 435 members. Each member serves 2 years. Each member of the House of Representatives must be at least 25 years old. And the House members are based on population. The Senate is different. There are fewer senators, 100. Each senator serves for 6-year term lengths, and the minimum age for each senator is 30 years old. What was the 3/5 compromise? This is 3/5, the fraction 3/5. In 1787, political leaders placated, which means pleased, the southern states by counting slaves as 3/5 of the population when determining representation in the U.S. House of Representatives. And here is a graphic. Here is one free person in 1787, and here is one slave. According to political leaders, one slave was worth 3/5 of a person when it came to voting, when it came to representatives in the U.S. House. That's the 3/5 compromise. How does the Constitution balance power? The way it balances power, number 3. It avoided a too powerful central government by establishing 3 co-equal branches: the legislative, which makes laws, the executive, and the judicial, with numerous checks and balances among them. Here are the 3 branches of government, and they all checked each other's power. What does that mean? What are checks and balances? Each branch of government uses its power to make sure the other 2 branches don't get too powerful. How does the Constitution balance power? Way number 4. It limited the powers of the federal government to those identified in the Constitution. So there was a limit to the federal government's powers, and they only were listed in the Constitution. If it wasn't listed there, then they didn't exist. People, let's talk about the key leaders of the Constitutional Convention. When was the Constitutional Convention? 1787. The first key leader is this man, George Washington. He was the president of the convention before he became president of the United States. George Washington, what did he do? He presided at the convention and, although seldom participating in the debates, lent his prestige, meaning reputation, to the proceedings. When he talked, people listened because he was a war hero. The second leader of the Constitutional Convention who was important was this man, James Madison, and his nickname was the father of the Constitution. What did he do? Madison, a Virginian and a brilliant political philosopher, often led the debate and kept copious means detailed, notes of the proceedings. And these notes are the best record historians have of what transpired, meaning took place at the convention. Thank you, James Madison, for being a good note taker. What was Madison's Virginia plan? This man had a plan, and he's from Virginia. He represented Virginia, so it's called the Virginia Plan. At the convention, Madison proposed a plan in which the federal government had 3 separate branches: legislative, executive, judicial, and this became the foundation for the structure of the new government. He later authored much of the Bill of Rights. The Bill of Rights, what are those again? The Bill of Rights is the first 10 amendments. Amendments are changes to the Constitution. And the very first Bill of Rights is probably the most important. The freedom of speech, the freedom to celebrate whatever religion you are, the freedom of the press, and the freedom to assemble and petition your government. If you don't like what your government is doing, you can criticize it and you won't get killed. In other countries, we don't have those rights. We are almost done. Please think of 2 questions that you still have that you would like to ask, and please write down those questions. And when you are done writing, you are done with lesson 3-2. Until next time, this is Mr. Deegan in D226 signing off.